Hey, what's up, PLC? Shaping for Life. Just wanted to give you guys an update on my garden so far, what I've got producing and what's looking good. A couple of plants that were highly anticipated, and a couple that are not doing so good. Anyway, check it out. So, here's my replacement Scotch Brains. He's got a couple of little pods in here. Nothing really popping out crazy. But he's, ever since I put him in this new planter, he's doing really well. A couple of good shapes in there. And, you know, he's just getting bushy, full. Here's SoCal F2 that I started in my tent. Sorry, my dog. She wants to get some love. Every time I crouch down, she comes up. So this is my F2 from the tent that I let it go straight to flower. It's actually pretty bushy. It's not very big though, but it's got some cool shapes in it. There's one right there. Now the interesting thing, come on dog. The interesting thing about this plant is all my other SoCals are putting out green pods, and this one has lime green pods, and then they turn red. Here, check this one out over here. See, like this is what my SoCal Magma F2, most of them look like this. So they're a decent dark green, like a habanero, and this thing is seriously loading with pods too. It's just tons and tons of pods in here. Flowers on top, tons hanging over the edge. I mean, just tons of pods, which is good. I like that. And then I got my contest peach Scotch bonnet. Tons of pods loading up down here. It started out over on this side. I'll show you. These are the first couple of pods that started to pop up. They're nice and big, decent sized pods. I love these pods, they taste so good. Very similar to a Bahamian goat, in my opinion. They almost look the same. And then this is my Yucatan habanero that I got seeds from a family member who smuggled them in from the Yucatan. And these pods are so pretty, man. They're big. They're not quite the regular orange that you see. And this thing was like kind of yellowing about a week ago, and it's coming around full circle. I mean, it's starting to get thick. I'm happy with that since I put it in the smart pot. Let's see, we got this Fidalgo Rojo times Grand, or Roja, sorry, times Grand Boa. As you can see, it's got tons of pods on it. These things take forever to ripen. This thing has had probably 200 pods on it all the time, and it only ripens one or two at a time, you know. It's pretty crazy, but I love it. And then I had a little aphid problem on this guy, so you can see all the leaves are kind of curling, and it's only got 2 pods on it, but one of them is pretty gnarly. Like that guy. He's gonna ripen soon, I can tell. Let's see what else we got. Here's my Dorset Naga. This thing's getting big. Nothing really crazy to speak of pepper wise. It's got a few that are forming down in the midsection down in here. Let's see that. You know, nothing crazy, nothing real gnarly. But he's definitely reaching for the sky. I had an aphid problem with him too, so a lot of the leaves are all curled up. The ants just kept farming them in, so I had to put a water bottle in there with some borax and honey and sugar. And then this guy, this is my not Scotch Brains. And let's see, I still have no idea what this is, what plant this is, or what variety it is, but this is what all the pods look like when they come in. They're really dark purple, really bumpy and wrinkly. Kind of reminds me of a tiger, purple tiger. But then when they start to get closer to ripening, they turn this green. And there's a couple down in here that have some wicked stingers on them. Let's see if I can get a good one. Alright, let's get down dirty in here. So here's one that's pretty cool shaped. And get it underneath there. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, pretty wicked looking. And there's one in here. Get two of them for a shot. And that guy right there. And that one right there. But look at the shape on that thing. I have no clue what type of plant this is. It's kind of exciting. I can't wait to see what color it turns. And this one's a BOC. Had a little aphid problem with him too. As you can see, put a water bottle down there. That's been keeping the ants away. Hopefully it'll give it some time to recover. And then there's this guy. Let me back up so you can see this thing. It's still getting huge. And it's got these, I already picked a ton of peppers off of this and they're really tasty red. And they definitely are a bubblegum variety. But they're beautiful purple. This purple calyx. And the calyx bleeds to red when they fully ripen. It had a bunch of little mini pods on it and I realized it had started podding early before I put it in this fabric pot. And ever since I put it in there, I've been getting these huge, bigger pods instead of these little baby ones like this. I mean, they're good eating, but I can't wait to try one of these, because these little baby ones are actually pretty dang hot. As you can imagine, it's probably, a 7-pot bubble gum mixed with something else. But look at these beautiful purple flowers. Come on, I just really like this plant. And it's super productive. You can see there's pods everywhere. And let's go through. So here's my recovering row. I just transplanted all these into bigger pots and they've just decided to take off. Where they were looking like this, kind of shabby, kind of small, stuck in a little home. And I'm hoping they're going to turn out looking sizable like that. This is a yellow brain strain. I believe this is a long tail Kino. And only got one pod on it so far. It doesn't look like, it just looks like a typical yellow brain strain, or maybe even a 7-pot, but a couple of Mexican black cobra. This is a Hawaiian pepper that I got from Hawaii while I was in Maui. Talked to one of the PLC members, Kyle, and he hooked me up with a place to get the Hawaiian pepper seeds from a market while I was there, and picked it up, and there it is. And there's a couple other ones. This one's starting to pot up. Who's this guy? Oh, this is a SoCal. I got lots of SoCal magmas out here. What's this one? That one's going to be a mystery because I can't see what the label says anymore. And here's a boot nade and another boot nade. Better now that I transplanted it. And here is a black tiger. I'm doing an experiment on this one with, I put one in here and one in my bed and see what the soil differences are. And here's a little reaper. The first pod's kind of tiny, but I did transplant it with that pod on there, so we'll see what happens when that pod is. I'm tempted to just pick it off and let it go. Ooh, I hope that's not what I think it is. I hate those. Matter of fact, just to be safe, burn that leaf. You know what that is? You're gonna hate it if you see that. Little leaf miners. They're impossible to see. You can pop them like a pimple when you see the little pocket they're in. Just squish it and then chuck that leaf far, far away. Alright, let's see what else. These guys are due. All of these are kind of yellowing. They're caught up in these old pots. They're going to be in my third bed when I do it. A couple of booney guam peppers. These are super good for powder additives, man. They are phenomenal for powders. And growing 2 of these, they're probably going to put out maybe 200, maybe more, 200 a piece pods. Here is my F1 magma clone, and he's going on round 3, and he's still putting out some decent sized, good looking pods, and a bunch of new growth on top. This thing actually expanded this way, where it used to only go that way. There's another one. This guy needs to be transplanted up, but I'm gonna wait till I can get all these pods off of it first. Here is my soldier wall of plants that are hardening off. Some of them were sagging a little bit. This guy's a little sagged out, but I just watered him. He'll come back. And then did an experiment on one of these. This one right here, I did FIM instead of topping, just to see what kind of difference it would make. And honestly, it has started to produce a little bit of side shoots, but not nearly as much as this guy. Like, I topped this guy at the same time, and look at, there's side shoots all the way down. All the way down. Where this guy's split, he's already putting out flowers. So, I mean, you know, hey, it may produce more on this plant that I FIM'd. However, so far, I mean, you know, we're in it for the long haul. We'll see what happens. I may like the results, I may not. If not, I won't do it again. And there's a bunch of other plants. There's another SoCal F2, just transplanted up, so it's already got a bunch of weird shaped pods on it. But we'll see what happens with that. I needed water. A little saggy, a little flimsy. And what is this? This is a white habanero. Ooh, this guy was suffering big time indoors, and I'm not sure what is going on with it. As you can see, got these little spots on the underside of the leaves. It's healthy on top, and most of the new growth looks good. There's no marking on that. I think it had something to do with how bad it was edemaed or how much stress it was going through, because I kept forgetting to water it. You know, everyone says they have that one plant that just is super demanding as far as water. And that would be the white habanero. I noticed that that one and the 7-pot Jonah, actually sorry, the SB 7-pot Jonah is very water demanding. Look at Sweet Belize. This guy was hurting for water. Pretty much everything in the shade was hurting for water because I didn't water him the last 2 days. It was kind of cloudy. Anyway, besides all my overwinters that are kind of a waste, I mean, I've got a few that are doing all right. Like this guy right here. This is an Ollie crystal, and he's, you know, he's an overwintered, so I really haven't given it the care that it needs. Just kind of wanted to experiment and see how they would do. And he's doing all right. We'll see. And then this is a Sugar Rush Peach. It looks like he's starting to come back pretty good. See. And last thing we'll go check out is my 2 beds. So this is all I've got in here so far. I've got this guy, which is a hybrid cross, and I call it the BBR. It's a cross between a black cobra and I forget, but these are good. These are really yummy. They're very Thai-ish flavored, but they taste like a Mexican cobra as well. So they're pretty decent sized pods that turn bright red. Good for powders. Next, here's another one, another BBR. Call it BBR because it's the big bad red. And then there's a couple Mexican cobras. Just got transplanted. And I got some orange gum. And he's gonna start changing. He's stuck in that pot for so long. I can already see the undergrowth is starting to grow up real nice. Like it's liking where it's being transplanted. We'll see how that goes. And here's a guy that was struggling in a small pot. This is a Fatali brain strain. And Sugar Rush Peach. And here's that other purple tiger. We'll see which one does better. This guy's already putting out bigger flowers because it's placed here. I don't know if you can see that. But the other one's flowers are tiny compared to this. It's an Augie Fantasy, starting to put out a few pods. Hopefully he's gonna turn more green since I transplanted him. I know I transplanted this guy and immediately, like 2 days later, he's already starting to darken up. There's a Tolly, he's struggling. He's, I think I had some of that Miracle Grow soil that he was sitting in for way too long. And it holds moisture. After a time period, it says, you know, safe protection from overwatering or whatnot. But after about 4 months, that soil just does nothing but stay moist. And here's another, what's this guy? Yeah. Gonna be the last year I think I use those clear knives as a label because it just wears off. I may have to print labels. And lastly, this isn't really all pepper related, but I'm starting some strawberries. My kids love strawberries, so this is kind of their planter box. We're doing watermelons, tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, watermelon, and zucchini. So that was all planted by my daughter. So she's got to keep it up. I'm trying to keep it watered for her, but they look like they're not doing very good. You know how it is when you buy plants from Home Depot. You never know if they were overwatered when they were there, which probably was the case with these tomatoes. You know, branches just come right off. But yeah. And it looks like they brought some bugs with them too. See that? That's a leaf miner path. And this is where he ended up, and he's gonna die. Watch, I'll show you how I kill leaf miners. There's a little spot where he's sitting. And I pop it just like a pimple. Should be okay. Alright, let me show you what I got going on inside. Still, yes, I know. I got a bunch of different varieties from several different people. Refining Fire Chilies, Rob Blumberg, and myself. That I had started a little bit late, but couldn't resist. So here, check it out what I got. There's Rob Blumberg's seeds that he gave me, brown bootla, and I got a yellow jacket F2. Probably gonna be about another seven days or so before anything shows its face. What is this? This one is a chocolate bootla DN, A minor, and this one is a chocolate Scotch bonnet, which I've never grown. I'm looking forward to that. I just transplanted this. I had 3 of them sitting in a cup like that. SoCal Magna F3, and I separated them out. Put one here, and one, the smallest one, which I didn't bother to chop or cut, is in the original cup. And so I've got 2 more of those that I've got to do the transplants for when I have a moment. I believe this one is another, yep, that's a SoCal F3 Type 2. The Type 2 is the hottest of the ones that I've experienced. And this one is going to be a new cross that I made this season. This cross is new. I'm not going to reveal anything on what it's mixed with yet. I want to wait to see what the pods look like before I even come up with a name for it. It's going to be pretty tropical though. Let's see, I got a MA Wartrix. So just started to split on the top. I think I'm just going to let him go. I got this guy, I believe is a Jamaican chocolate. Yep, Jamaican chocolate. This one is this is a Lava Scorpion. I got this from Refining Fire Chilies along with the Death Spiral. This plant is loving life. Let me just show you. So he's the same age as that one and that one. However, this one is taking off. And I'm going to let it go because it's doing so dang good. No side shoots yet. Little buds are starting to form there. And something wants to come out, but nothing yet. And this guy here is another Death Spiral. I think he went through some transplant shock because he dropped all his lower leaves, but he's doing alright now. And this guy is my little bonsai. He's already still the same exact size that he's been for months, but he's starting to get dense. And he's going for a second round of peppers. Let's see how big he is compared to my hand. Maybe 9 inches tall. But thriving. And I'll keep them that way if I can. And I've got this one desperately needs to be changed out of his solo cup. It's another Jamaican chocolate. I think I recently separated these ones and changed them. These two used to be in the same pot together, and that guy in the back. I separated them. These are going to go straight outside to bigger pots. And here is the SB7 pot Jonah. The one I said that is a water hog. He's ready. Just haven't had enough time and soil to get him out into a bigger pot. He's gonna explode when he does. Been picking the buds off. That's pretty much what I got going on inside my tent. So that's all I got for right now. Hope you enjoyed seeing what I got. Alright. Later, PLC.